Greetings, this is Father Steve, and just a couple thoughts on this coming Sunday's reading for the 28th Sunday of the year. Again, it's Matthew's Gospel, and again, it's put in the context of Matthew aligning a number of different parables from Jesus, reflecting on the kingdom of God. It's interesting, this is a wedding feast, and the dad gets rather upset. The dad of the groom gets rather upset, and you can see the violence that gets played out. Now, Jesus obviously was overplaying and overstating that parable to make a very strong point. Matthew also has a couple points as well that he's reflecting on to his community around the turn of the century, about 100 AD. But it's interesting, I always kind of chuckle when I see these kinds of wedding parables, because I've done lots of weddings over these 40 years as a priest, and a lot of times couples get really wound up, and rightly so, I guess, about who shows up for the reception and who doesn't. As a matter of fact, it's a very common thing today for people not to RSVP until the last minute, and you see brides and brides' moms are worried, rightly so, about who's going to show and how many are going to be there and when are they going to show up. And I can't help but think in the back of my mind, sometimes I think, yeah, maybe these people are just waiting for a better option. I'll RSVP at the last minute. We'll see what else shows up. But I think the gift and the power of this reading is it's a reflection about Jesus' view of the history of Israel and their lack of faithfulness to following God's invitation to the wedding that he has prepared for them, the life that he has prepared for them. Matthew has that little caveat of somebody who shows up not wearing a wedding garment, and can kind of sound rather odd that, hey, the guy didn't dress up right, he's homeless, he's a street person, didn't show up. But in those days, it was the responsibility of the wedding party to provide a wedding garment for everybody that showed up, kind of like a big fancy party hat or a necklace or something that would kind of show that they were part of this whole event. I think Matthew's reflection a little bit is, it means more to follow Jesus than just being a member, just showing up. That it's about engagement and joining in. And so if that was a struggle in the early church for Matthew, and I think that's where he's going with this reflection, it makes me wonder too, in my own life as part of a Christian community, where do I still need to dig deeper? And I think of some areas just in my own life, like, do I spend enough time in prayer, praying for the community, rather than just the immediate issues that surround me? How much time of prayer do I really use for praying for things larger than just my own world? That might be an area for you to reflect on a little bit. The areas of justice and mercy. What are the encyclicals, what are the writings of the bishops and the popes on really the understanding, the larger picture of justice and mercy? Maybe that's an area I need to dig a little bit deeper, become more part of the community in that particular area. Pope Francis just released a new encyclical, and he signed the document in the little city of Assisi on the spirit of St. Francis. Maybe you take a little bit of time this week to look that up and reflect on the beautiful and the powerful writings of Pope Francis. That is maybe a way of wearing the wedding garment in a little more public fashion, a little more powerful way. God bless. Have a great week.